connects. It's a world of fear, and it's a world of all worry and anxiety and what's coming next and fearing tomorrow. And then you go to a self-identity that says, I am an infinite aspect of all that is, has been, and ever can be, having a brief experience called human. And suddenly the human experience becomes tiny. It goes into perspective. And what happens in this little tiny experience takes on a completely different perspective. So you will do things and stand up for things when you see the human experience in those terms that you won't if you think the human experience is all that you are and all that there is. So from a expanded state of awareness, and I don't say this from a point of view of, elitism, the point is that's our natural state. This is an unnatural state that we've been put in so we can all be controlled by a bunch of morons.
Absolutely.
So, because morons can only control you when you're in that state where you're in a smaller box than they're in, which is what it's really all about. Mm. So when you are in this more expanded state of awareness, and that's in perspective, that human life, then you're not going to put everything in terms of your focus upon staying alive for every last second that you can. Because if you think this is all there is, then it's you're trying to extend your life, and there's nothing wrong with that to a point, but you're trying to extend your life because you fear death, you fear the unknown. So I want to stay alive as long as I can within this body. And so you give your power to doctors, like I said earlier, save me, doctor, keep me alive, doctor. And you also will say, well, what are the consequences for me doing what I know to be right in this situation? Could the consequences mean that my life will be shortened? Could the consequences mean that my life will be affected like this, or my life will be affected like that? Oh, well, I'm not doing it then, because I know what I should do, but I'm not doing it if those are the consequences. That's what that myopic, this world only view does to people. Whereas when you have a more expanded state of self-identity, that's what it is, that, we are exploring infinite reality infinitely, and this is just a brief experience. It takes on a completely different view, and you start to do what you know to be right without going through a big list of consequences of what might happen if I do what I know to be right. You just do it.
Well,
what happens, because to you at this level of awareness, whatever happens is just an experience, and there'll be another one along tomorrow. And we are infinitely exploring infinity. So what happens here, it takes on a much less sense of importance in terms of what happens to you, compared with someone who thinks this is all there is. And it's that more expanded state of awareness. That's where you find people who will not acquiesce to stupidity, will not acquiesce to tyranny. And they're always the ones that overturn tyranny, because no one else is going to do it.
We've absolutely been a beacon